Hello, welcome back. In today's video we are going to talk about some challenges that we have so far. We have gone so far a mile. We have done a number of milestones in these applications. We have achieved a lot of functionality so far. At least we are standing at a good part, though we are still having a lot of challenges, more especially with the checkout process and others. Okay, so in today's video I want to highlight about the scenarios and the challenges that so far we have, and then we'll also brainstorm on how we can actually get the solution to these challenges. I'm not sure if they will work out. I haven't tried them out. I'm just going to brainstorm the solution, and then we'll try out the solution and see if it actually works. So the first problem is that let me just first go and I show you the first problem. So if someone just goes to the checkout, so if you have the cart items, okay, and you are on the cart page and you can proceed to the checkout. Okay, so the checkout will actually start like it is working. Okay, now what I just want to show you, maybe I would show you on the online version, you would understand actually what I'm meaning. So let me just go to the hosted version of the site. Okay, so the hosted version of this site, we are having challenge, and I want to show you what the challenge might be. Okay, so when you go to the cart and you try to make a checkout, we have 3 items here. We can increase this one to be 2. Continue to the checkout. Okay, let's say you fill in some details here. Next, and I want you to look at the email, this email here. Let me just maybe call it remember at this email, so that I will show you why we need to remember this. Okay, so if you just click next, then go ahead and feed in some data and this. Okay, and then just go and make this, so you have all the products and the quantities and everything. So proceed, and you can see it is saying actually something went wrong, meaning that this this process has not been successful for some reason. I don't know why. Up to this point, I'm not sure why. Now if you go and check on the, just going to duplicate this, so let's go and check out for the orders. So API orders. Okay, so if you check on the API orders, okay, I want you to see that the order was actually created. Okay, the order was successful. Look at the email, remember at this. So the order was created, and unfortunately if you check in the order items, they are not there, meaning that we are having the one part of the 2 transactions, because right now we are having at least 2 things or 2 stages of queries that needs to actually run. The first one is the first query that is going to actually create the order. Then the second query is actually of creating the order item. Okay, but then the one query is successful and another query is not successful. Okay, so in this scenario we have to create a transaction in order to prevent this. We have to make sure that either the 2 processes succeed or neither of them actually succeeds. Okay, we have to make that scenario, and Prisma, to identify that, they brought what we call the transaction API. Okay, so I first used the transaction API actually in the inventory. okay, in the inventory series. Now, by the way, I want to inform you that we are going to continue the inventory series to finish it after this one. So when you consider this, the fact that this transaction API will help you if you just go up here and you see what they are using. The transaction API is a generic solution to independent threads that allows you to run multiple operations as a single operation or atomic operation. If any operation fails, Prisma rolls back the entire transaction. So this is what we are supposed to use. Okay, we use a transaction in such a way that if any of these ones, okay, if any of these where is us here, if any of the order here, if the order creating order items fails, then we don't actually proceed and also create this, okay, because you're going to have a lot of orders actually without order items, okay, and this will be like really scamming. You can see even the previous scenarios I tried, I had that problem here online, more especially. Okay, so that is the first challenge that we have. We have to change the chain of operations into a transaction. That is one thing. Now the second problem, let's go back. So the second problem we have is that we need to create an order, okay, not an order, a sale. So for these items you are seeing here, when someone actually succeeds in creating the transaction, okay, for each of these items, remember that this item may actually be belonging to a certain vendor, okay. Let's say this one is of vendor ID 2, this one is of vendor ID 1, and vendor ID 3. So what we have to create, a sales to create a sale, because whenever someone makes an order, one of these vendors, actually all the vendors make sales. If these were 3 vendors, each vendor is going to make a sale. For instance, if this Jinga belongs to vendor 1, so the vendor 1 would make a sale of 1 item, then this vendor also would create a sale of 1 item, and then this vendor would create a sale of 2 items, okay. So in other words, we have for 4 items here, or for these 3 items, we are going to have 1, 2, 4 sales. So these ones represent 4 sales belonging to different vendors, okay. That means upon creation of the order, we have not only to create the order items, so we create the order, we create the order items, and then we go ahead and also create a sale, okay. So how would a sale look like? So a sale would have, for instance, these kind of fields. If you think about it, let me just first show you, like, for instance, a schema for the sale. Because a sale has an ID, it would have to have order ID to reference to which order actually this sale came from. It would also have a reference to the product ID, just in case you want to get all the details of that product that was bought. Then vendor ID, to whom this product actually belongs, so that we will allocate this sale to a right vendor, and of course the total amount that was in that sale, okay. And then of course I think I don't know if the quantity matters or anything, maybe because we have actually this order ID and the product ID. Then we have the created ad. Of course, we have also the date created, okay, the date created. I don't know why we might just use a created ad, okay. So we have all these relations here, okay. Of course, this one is going to be not a vendor ID, but actually a user ID. So those that is a scenario we are having right now, okay. This is a scenario we are having right now. We are going to create a sale, and then also the sale has to be added in the transaction, okay? Because when all these fail, if this fails, then there is no way we can create an order. The order is only created if the first two processes are successful, okay? So that is one thing that we are talking about. Now another problem that we have is actually the fact that this order is having this kind of schema. If you look at the item information that we have for each of these ones, we actually don't have the vendor ID, okay? We don't have the vendor ID onto these products, okay? And you can see while creating it, the vendor ID is actually required. When you want to create here the order, we need the product ID. At least the product ID, we have it. We have the vendor ID, and now this is not even the user ID. This is the vendor ID, okay? The owner of the product. So for instance, if we went to products, let's first see. Let me say API. Actually, I'm just going to show you in a second. Let me first duplicate this. If you see currently the products we are keeping, you can look at the information we have on each product. You look at each product. So for order items we actually have this information. Each order has at least the order ID, okay? It has the product ID, image, title, quantity, price, and others. But it does not have actually the vendor ID, okay? It doesn't have the vendor ID. So we will have to think about this, and then we have to add the vendor ID so that we can actually be able to store the vendor in the sales, okay? The ID of the vendor in the sales. And that is only important because when you're just going to display the orders or the sales that belongs to a particular actually farmer or a particular vendor, we need their ID in the sales so that we identify how many sales they have made, okay? So we have to write this. Now when you look at this, and let me just go and say API products, okay? If you look at the products we have, let's just go ahead and I look at the products. So if you look at the products, is that at least you have let's just see ID, title, image, description, and all this data. Let's move down. Okay, so the good thing is that you actually see that it has this user ID. Now this user ID actually is the farmer's ID of that person who is actually creating the product, okay? This is the ID of the person creating the product. And we make sure that of course is the farmer, and that's why when we are creating a product, we are actually sending the farmer's data, and it is where we are getting this this as the if we look at creating a new product in a second, let's just go into creating, and we see where that user ID is coming from. So if you just go to back dashboard, catalogs, and you look at the products, new, so you first check that on this new here, you see we are sending first of all the farmer's data, okay? You can see that we have here we are getting the categories, and we are first getting all the users. You can see here I'm getting all the users, and after getting these users, I'm getting the farmer's data specifically by filtering the user with the role of farmer. So this one ensures that I have all the farmers, and then I use these farmers actually to send the title. You can see here the ID and the title, the farmer's name and the ID, and I'm sending these to the new product, and you see I'm sending the farmers and the categories. So when you go to the new product, you will see that we are actually accepting the farmers, and if you look in the data that we are sending somewhere, let me just go here in the ID. So you see that we are considering that putting that as slag, the quantity, this whole thing. This is want to look at the make post request. I want to see actually how we are setting this. Either it is in here. Let me see. Farmers. Okay, so I'm just going to look here. Okay, so now here we are generating the slag. We have the image, data, that product, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just failing to see where we are having the ID, the user ID entering here. I need to see the user ID. Oh, okay. So it enters under the where we are selecting the farmers. So it comes actually down here. Okay. So where we are actually selecting the farmer, you can see we are setting it as the farmer ID. Okay. So we have this name, farmer ID. Okay. Farmer ID, and here on this API, let me just go and check. So we are sending this make post request, we send the data. Can we go to the API? So now if I just go to API, because we are sending it logically as farmer ID. So if I just go to API products and I go to route, so let's look at the post creating a new product. So we first actually check if the existing product by this slag, so that we don't make a mistake, we create the product 2 times. If there is no existing product, we go ahead and create the new product. Now if you look at the new product, okay, so you can see here that the user ID is actually the farmer ID. So here we are very sure that, okay, we are very sure that this user ID we are talking about is actually the farmer's ID. So this user ID you are seeing here, this is the farmer's ID, and this is the vendor ID actually we want on these items while we are ordering them, these ones. Okay, when we are ordering these ones, we want those ones, and the information we only have so far, you see that it does not involve the farmer's ID or the vendor ID. So we need to actually get this vendor's ID, and we actually add it here. Okay, so that is the list of problems so far we have. So the first one I think we can tackle is, first of all, making sure that these order items they actually have the vendor ID or the user ID where they belong. Now we're just going to refer it as the vendor ID to avoid the confusion, because we already have a normal user, maybe user ID, but I'm just going to rename it to vendor ID when you're just putting it here, so that we are really clearly understanding where it is coming from. Okay, so now at what point in time are we going to add this ID? So you can see where we're having these cart items, so we must actually get it at some point when you are going to add the cart products. If we go back to our if we just go back to our slice, so if I just go and look at what we did in this, we have the context, we have the redux. So if you check in this cart slice, let's first look at how we are creating the new cart item. So when you add to cart, this is where the information of what you add, where you get from, because you have this payload. Okay, if you are going to look at this payload we are adding, actually in add to cart, you will see that it actually belongs to, it goes back to the components. And if you're just going to look at the product component, the product itself, because this belongs maybe to, front end, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to look for the, I guess, product or something. Maybe we check in the front end. Okay, so you have here the product, and you can see we are dispatching add to cart. And at this point in time, actually, at this point where we are having add to cart, we actually have all the data. Okay, we have all the data. So I'm just going to go ahead and I will now do one thing. So here we receive the data. This is the entire product. This is the entire product. So that means that when we receive the entire product in the slice, we choose which data do we want. Okay, that is the point actually where we make the choice. Here in the cart slice, we have decided to take the ID, title, sales price, image, URL. Okay, and these are the items that actually we have here. If I just go back at this API, actually this one, so these things here, these ones, title, quantity, price, and all that are coming actually from here. Okay, are coming from here, where we are just creating the this add to cart. So we need to add some more data here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the user ID, because we all know that at least we have this user ID. So I'm just going to add user ID here. Okay, I'm just going to add user ID. Okay, I'm just going to add this user ID here. So now, and we could just rename this, I guess. You can just say user ID as vendor. Let me just see. You can just say add user ID as vendor ID. Okay, so if we do that, okay, if we do that right now, what I just need to, and let's say if it is existing, so here we first receive the payload, and we first check if this item actually exists. If it doesn't, let me just also copy this. Yeah, if it doesn't, okay, if it doesn't, so you can see here new item is ID, title, quantity, and of course you're just going to add the vendor ID. Okay, we're just going to add this vendor ID here. Okay, and then we push the new item, and then of course we go ahead and also keep this in the local storage. So now what we just want to see is actually at that point, can I just look at the cart items? So let me just go to the cart. Okay, I'm just going to go to back office. Actually, it is just in the front end cart, on this cart page, where we have these cart items. I'm just going to console.log them. Okay, cart items. Yep, so I'm just going to go ahead and actually test this. So on this, let's go back to cart. I'm just going, of course, to remove all these items, go back to this, and let's refresh to make sure all the new changes we have them. Okay, I just refresh. So right now what we're trying to do is making sure that our product categories.filter is not a function. Am I having internet? let me see if I have internet. Do I have internet? Internet looks to be fine. I don't know why the data is not being fetched. Okay, we don't have any item, so I'm just going to go ahead and add about 2 items just like this. Okay, let me just go ahead and check in the here, and let's go ahead and check F12. We have array of 2 items. Let's look at this array. So if you look at this array, you see now that we have the ID, image, quantity, sales, title, and the vendor ID. So this is what we want. Okay, so now we have successfully added the vendor ID. Okay, at least we have the vendor ID and the quantities. Okay, they are okay. So it's price, everything, we are good. So that is the first step. We want to do that. We make sure for each product we actually get the vendor ID so that we are not confused of which vendor added this product. If they all have the same vendor, well and good. If they don't, for instance, you see right now that these 2 items actually belong to different vendors. Okay, great. So moving on now, if we go to the checkout, so I'm just going to first pause, go to checkout for a second in this page. So you see that we have the cart banner and the step form. Now I just want to go to these components and I want to specifically check out the order summary page. So if you just go to components and you go to checkout and then the step forms, I just want to look at the order summary. So before we actually send this data to the API, right now what I just want to do is only console.log this the order items. Okay, so let me first take off this try catch. Okay, and just only console.log what I want. So I'm just going to see if I'm actually receiving that data. So here console.log. Okay, console.log. Okay, I can just say data.order items. Okay, data.order items specifically to see that. So if you just go ahead, you could refresh this. We are very sure we cannot lose these items. They are in the local storage. Okay, just a second. Okay, so I'm just going to say continue to check out. I don't know why this is not okay responsive, so just continue to check out. And let me just go ahead and have fake fill all this information. Fake fill all this information. Okay, this credit card, and now let's click on this. So you have also an array of 2 items. So these ones are actually the ones which you turn to be the order items. Okay, so successfully we have all this information. This this product ID, image URL, quantity, sales, title, and the vendor ID. So successfully we have all this information now going to this side. Okay, so that is great. The fact that we have this reaching the vendor ID, so that problem is sorted of having the vendor ID within on the order item. That one is sorted, and that one calls for one thing we also have to check. So you have to go ahead and check for the vendor ID. So in a second, if I just go to the Prisma schema, let me just go to the Prisma schema. where are the schemas, guys? If I go to checkout and just like Prisma, then schema. Okay, so you have to make sure the order ID actually is storing. If you just go here, order item somewhere, okay, so it can store all this information, but just go ahead and actually just add the vendor ID. So down here we have the order ID and others, so just going to have the vendor ID. The same thing here, it is a string and it is object ID. So just paste like this. We must have the vendor ID. That is the first change we have made in this one. We have to store also the vendor ID, and successfully we are sending it here. And if you just go and check currently in this API what we just like getting, we have also to consider getting this Control C. I'm just going to go to this API and inside the orders here, not here, and in the post, so where we are creating a new order, you see we have all this information. I'm just going to simply add and you can see we have the user ID who have made the order, but then we have also the vendor ID. As simple as that. Okay, we have this the vendor ID, which is well and good. Okay, so now I've added this vendor ID, and not on this one, guys. I don't know why I always put in the wrong places. It is not on the order, it is on the order item. So here after this we just have to add vendor ID is going to be item dot vendor ID. Okay, just like this. You can see here product ID is item dot ID. Okay, great. So now we have all these nice things happening right now. We have the vendor ID now entering here. Great. So now the second thing now we have to work on, now that we have worked on that, let me just go ahead and comment the code in the order summary before I forget. So just simply comment all this code so that we can send the data normally. So this part of checking and changing this one is done. The part now we want to handle is how do we actually change this transaction. So the first thing is that I'm just going to go ahead and also create this sales schema. So just copy this and let's go here. You can just look at the things we have. Okay, and this is just like on this. Let me just scroll down until you reach on this the schema. So I'm just going to copy this, and then now we just go to the schema. Okay, so after this I'm just going to create this model, and then we start working on them. Okay, so the first thing is that we have the sale. So we have the order ID, product ID. Now these ones, they actually don't have to do it. Let me see. Okay, we have this order ID, product ID, and this vendor ID. Okay, then you have to blah blah, and then we start with the order. So this one has to come from the order. Then for product, it has to come from it has to be related to, of course, to the product. That one has no actually problem, but I think we have to go ahead and product can have sales, so we have to go and consider that. the way we have, for instance, if you're just going to have also related to the product, then we have to go to the product. If you look at the product somewhere here, you see that it has like it has orders. You can see it as order items, so it can have here maybe sales, it can have sales items, maybe here on this it takes the sales. Okay, I think just like this sales items, or I don't know if you just call it sale. I'm just going to call sales, as simple as that. And then down here, that one is sorted. Now the problem we have is this vendor, so this one is just going to be a user. Okay, this one is going to be the user. Okay, first of all, this one has to be of user. Okay, has to be of user. And then we have a problem, vendor on sale. So this one is a vendor. Okay, just to go, and how about this? A validation field order in model sale, relation field order on model sale is missing an opposition field on the model order. Either run npm format or add it manually. Okay, so of course I'm just going to first stop the server. I'm just going to go ahead and stop the server, since we're just working with the here. I'm just going to run npm format. I don't know, there's some extension I will just look for. There is, I think, an extension that can do that. Okay, but right now just like run Prisma format, npx Prisma format. Is that the spelling of format? I just see if this can help to put these two relations. So we have to create this. After that, then we have to go ahead and so basically okay, it has formatted. Let's just go and check. So if you just check on the order, for instance, this is the order item. So here they've added this sale. It can just have like, it can have a lot of sales. I don't know why it has called it this capital, but it's supposed to do the same thing we just did there, like sales. Okay, sales. I'm just going to say sales, just like this. I don't know, it's not supposed to be just like that. And then the same thing for the user. So just go to the user. A user can make sales. So user here. So okay, so user can also make sales. I think those are the two things we just needed. Okay, so basically this means that in the user, okay, so yes, like this vendor ID in this model is references to the ID in the user, this ID in this user. Okay, it's okay. So now we have this at least done. Okay, now I'm not sure if we just need the date. Now that this date is the same as created at, do we really need to have that? Because I feel like this is just a repetition. I'm just going to remove this and I remain with created at. Maybe for the purpose, just leave it like that, just like the date where the order was created. Okay, so we have that. That is for this this schema. Now we can just go ahead and run this. I don't know how many errors we'll get, but I'm just going to run npx prisma db push. Npx prisma db push. Okay, so while that one is running, we just have to look at the transaction part. That is the hard part. Okay, the endpoint, how you're supposed to modify the endpoint to actually consider. Now we have made all our problems. We are remaining with now two major problems, actually like one major problem, the one of adding the transaction, so that all the three transactions creating the order item and the sale, they are all in a transaction. So to actually learn about this, I used Prisma, and this Prisma, they have this AI. So just in case you have issues you are trying to create or anything you are thinking, you can ask it here. They have this here, the bottom right corner, they have this ask AI, and you can go about and ask it anything you want. Okay, you can ask it anything you want. So I was asking questions about this. Okay, if you look at our conversations, I was asking it questions. For instance, explain about using transaction, and explain how to use it, and explain extracting and committing, blah blah. It just gave me some information here. It gave me an example of how it's supposed to start a transaction and blah blah. Okay, so I gave it a version of my code I was thinking, and I asked it that looks through this code and tell if I had issues, blah blah, and it looked into my code and was giving me suggestions how I was initializing the transaction at first, blah blah. And then I just actually told it here, consider I'm using Next.js 14, taking in consideration of your recommendations above, can you write a full correct version of the code implementing the correct usage of the transaction API? So it tried to generate actually here, certainly based on the issues identified, the fact that you're using Next.js 14, here is a revised version of the post function. Now, take it from me that actually this one is more smarter than ChatGPT. ChatGPT was giving me typically the bullshit. Okay, I tried it and everything was giving me was really old version. Be careful, if most especially you're on ChatGPT 3.5. okay, if you're on 3.5, guys, ChatGPT will not help you much. I'm not using the plus version of ChatGPT. If you are on a plus, that is better, because I think they have Next.js 14 and the updated version of the Prisma docs. So if you have any question concerning the Prisma, better use the Prisma doc AI, because I believe this one is using ChatGPT 4. and then it has this, maybe it has behind the scene, it has a GPT that it queries all the documentation. So ask more if you have any questions concerning the Prisma. Use this Prisma AI. So it generated this one. So I just want us to walk through this and we see if actually this one makes sense or it can actually create this whole thing. Okay, so now I have this here, this endpoint. Okay, so just going to be modifying our old endpoint to match this one. Okay, so you can see everything is almost the same. Okay, a few things that changes actually, more especially when we reach here and we're going to use the transaction. Okay, so you can just see here, use Prisma Transaction. So const result is await Prisma. So here you're just going to use DB, and then async, you have access to the Prisma itself, and then you can actually start like running all these queries. So I'm just going to actually copy this. Okay, so to avoid problems, what I'm just going to do is, let me first close everything here. Okay, and let's go and look for the API orders here. So down here, by the way, let's just go ahead. This one finished. Whatever we are doing here, I think it was successful. Yep. So I'm just going to go ahead and say npm run dev. Meanwhile, as we're just like trying to troubleshoot all this. Okay, so now this is our orders. This is the old stuff. So I'm just going to first of all create a duplicate, so it is easy. Just copy this and again paste it in the same paste. So you see it brings route copy. So this is going to be the copy where we're going to get everything, so that we go remain with the old copy. So go in this route. Let's bring everything that we have here. Okay, so from this everything post where we have this request, let's first see export async function post. Okay, so from here simply just go ahead and do this, Ctrl+C, and I'm just going to remove this async function and I replace it with that. Now one problem that we are just first going to change is the Prisma. So we already have our Prisma as DB, so I'm just going to go where there is Prisma here. I'm just going to say DB. Okay, that is the instance, and now inside here, inside the transaction, we have a new instance of Prisma, so this one is okay. Okay, now we have to make sure that everything is inside a transaction. You can see here everything you're just going to do is inside a transaction. Another problem we have is on the responses. Okay, is creating this new response. That's not the what we want. So let me just go here, copy. For instance, after creating everything, we just want to return this. Okay, we want to return new order, so just come here, and this having the status and the headers is nice, but we just want to actually use this one of Next.js, return JSON new order. Okay, that's great. And even here, just go here. If there is any problems, simply return this. We don't want to use this new response thing here. Okay, just simply remove this. Okay, Now after changing those ones, we need to analyze what have been changed. So in the first place, we receive our checkout data and the order items from the request. Okay, let's look at our order data. Why are we only removing the shipping? So checkout form data, we are getting all this data. I don't know where it was getting that. From the checkout form data, let's see how it was thinking to create it. It only put this new order, only just 3 things. Okay, just go ahead and actually go ahead and get this whole thing. Okay, so just get this const. So here, get all this. That's why you should be careful with this code generated by AI. You have to know exactly what you want, otherwise you will seriously be in problems. Okay, so from the checkout data, we want to abstract all this information. Okay, so we have order items and the checkout data. So now go down. Of course, we create the order function. This we generate order number, and we have here, and we are returning it here. Great. Now we start this Prisma transaction. In the transaction, meaning that everything within this transaction, if any of them doesn't actually succeed, we will not actually create any of them. So any of those transactions or any of those queries, if there's any query to the database that fails, we shall actually retrieve or cancel all of them. Okay, so now the first one is creating the new order. So we have with prisma.order .create. Now here I'm just going to actually paste the whole thing of the new order. So just go down here. So you have this new order. Okay, and just simply copy the data part. Okay, so new order, just create, just paste the data. Okay, this was here, generate just the order number in the order. Yeah, actually it's in the order number. So we have our data is having all these things, the user ID, blah blah, and everything we want. Okay, so that is great. So after that, you see we are creating the order within the transaction. So now we create new order items, await prisma.order item.create many. Let's make sure we actually have is having data order items dot map get item order ID is new order dot ID. Ensure you associate the items with the order. So let's just check if we're not actually having any problem in creating this. It might just create its own things, you know. Now that we don't trust it, we have to be very careful. So and okay, so it has all these fields. Let me just go here and see. We can just simply actually just go ahead and copy whatever for us we will have here. And I'm not sure, is this called sales price? I'm not sure if on the order items, if you check the order items, yeah, actually it is called sales price. Okay, it's okay. So they just go and just have everything we had in this, most especially the data. So just copy this data and the Okay, so just copy this. Okay, I don't trust this. Just simply replace with the data here, because it might just like make its own making. So you have this, we map, we get the item, we get the product ID, the vendor ID, and now quantity, price, new order, you're getting it from new order, and image URL plus the title. Okay, great. Okay, great. Now lastly, we actually just have to first calculate the total amount for each product and create a sale for each. So for instance, we're just going to say sales.promise all, and this is because we are going to run a bunch of these items and we create for each of them. So sales is equal to await promise.all. So we actually go through the order items and map all of them. Then the first thing here inside is that we have to first get the total amount of each item, and we are getting it from item.sales price times item.qty. Okay, and they're just very sure it is called qty. Yeah. So we have here this total amount. We want to know the total amount of that item because we cannot actually know that total amount afterwards. So just get the total amount here. So for the new sale, okay, for the new sale, we have to say new sale is equal await Prisma.sale. Now this one is actually referencing to our schema, the new schema sale dot create, and then we pass in the data. The first one is the order ID. So we have to make sure we have all this information from the schema. Let's just be careful about this. We haven't created this. So I'm just going to go to where you have the sale. So we have order ID, product ID, vendor ID, and total. I think those are the most important ones, these four. Yep. Okay. Okay. I wish we had to keep the product title, because like I feel like we need to show the person the sale, or we can just like get, I think, all that information. We don't need to, I guess, have so much, but we could just have, if you look at the sales table, how it's going to look like, we're just going to have the item title. Okay, just going to have the item title, item image, and then of course we could have the quantity plus the total. I think it is let me just like update this. I feel like we don't need to really make a tons of queries to the database. At this point we could create this, we give it more things because we have access to this item. Okay, we have access to this item from the order item, so we could just come and actually add everything that we have on this item. For instance, we can have the title. This would be the product title, like you say, product title, and this one would just say here, this would be item.title, item.title. Another thing you could just also get is the image URL and the quantity. Okay, so just copy this 2 times. So you could just have the product image, and this is item.image URL, And then finally we could just also have the product quantity. Okay, and this is item.qty. I think this one will help us not to over query the database, because if you only have the product ID, maybe in the future when we actually need more information we could get this, but at least we could get for each cell we get this data so that we don't over query database. So we have to go ahead and update these three things, these ones. And I don't know if we just really need to make sure this one will pass int. Okay, just go ahead and also put this in pass int. Okay, the qty item.qty. Okay, and you could just put the price. Okay, so also put the price, product price. Let me just come here and I put product price, and this one will just like pass float of this one here. It is going to be this pass float of item.sales price. So basically I've added 1, 2, 3, 4. We have added 4 things. So I'm just going to simply copy them, just add them in the other side in the schema here in the cell. So just down here, just add these ones. Okay, add these. Just like this. Okay, so the title is a string. Okay, just this one is a string. Okay, image, product image is a string. Okay, product price is a float. The way we have the total here, so this is a float, and then quantity is the int. So just come here, is the int. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have of course even the total. So this is good. I'm just going to run Ctrl C, npx prisma db push. If this is successful, run npm run dev. Okay, just like run that. I don't want to again go back. Let's now cross check everything, guys. Okay, we're just going to cross check everything we have here, make sure we have it fine. If we just go back this side, okay, we are creating a new cell within also the transaction, and this is will of course create all the cells in this, is doing one by one. Okay, return new cell, so this one creates a new cell, and then here we actually return all the 3. So this whole transaction returns the new order items, and the sales. Okay, so order item and these sales. Okay, now I just want to create 2 things for checking. Okay, for purposes of checking what we are doing here, I'm just going to create this, copy this gate. Okay, I'm just going to simply copy this gate. Do I need even to copy it or just simply duplicate? So I'm just going to go here, create some new folders. The first one is going to be sales. So here, copy sales, okay, just like that. And of course inside just going to copy this route, copy this and paste it in the sales. Let's remove the post, just like this, and we just remain with only this, and just the orders. This is going to be sales, await sale, find many, and then here, do we need to include anything? No, they just like leave everything just like that. Order by return sales, okay, and then here we can just like leave it just like this. The good thing with orders, they have order items, so we can look at the order items from there. But if wanted, we can also make order items its own API endpoint for getting the order items. But I just like consider this one. Okay, so now let me first look at what we have here on the UI. Are we having this everything running? Okay, yep. Great. Just bring these ones down. So we have to test the moment of truth. Okay, we have to test the moment of truth so that we see what we are going to get. Okay, I'm not sure we can just get it on the first on the first creation, but the only thing we can trust is that at least if we create and any of these fails, then everything is going to fail or go or succeed. I don't know. So what I'm just going to do is I first go back to the home page. Okay, let's see the page being compiled right now. Okay, so it is comparing the home page. Just let's wait. Okay, and I would want to actually on these orders down here, I would want to console these things on the console. A second, I'm not sure of what actually do we return after this. Reading, so return this is just like an object. So are we supposed to access, for instance, new order from result.new order? Maybe, because that one is an object having those three things, maybe. And here it is consoling them, so that's good. We can just like look at them. Okay, so okay, so let me just pause for a second. I'll be back when it actually renders. Okay, so it has successfully rendered the localhost here. I'm just going to go ahead and click onto these items in the cart. We don't need to add others. We have these items. Now to test actually this, we're just going to increase this to 2 so that we see how many sales will be created. Okay, So now this is why we continue to the checkout. Okay, let's continue to the checkout. So on the checkout, let's first go and check all these other data we have from previous steps. Okay, I think we still have some data from the previous steps, so you can just like simply just go and complete this here. Okay, so now we have these two items and the quantities. Now let's just go ahead and click on proceed to payment, and we see the type of errors that we are just going to get. Okay, fingers crossed. Of course, so we have something went wrong. That was very fast. Let's just go ahead and look at this here. They just go down Prisma invocation. User argument is missing. Where is that? Argument user is missing, and that is on what? Just like that, argument user is missing. User ID is undefined. This is on. Oh, okay. Here, let's see. Are we logged in? Oh, okay. How did we manage to be on the checkout without logging in? Because you can see here you don't have this. Let's refresh. For some reason we can be on this. Okay, so the user had not loaded, because I was wondering how we can be on this. Okay, so now let's start afresh. Actually, we had not refreshed, and the good thing with this, now we don't think there is anything that was created in the API. I can just go ahead, duplicate this, and let's also always be checking from our API, more especially the orders. Okay, so the gate is not working. Why? Expected type string vendor ID. What are we finding here? Just a second. Orders, just go to this route orders. And in this, actually we have, I think we need to delete all these orders that are existing, because they don't have actually. And if we modified the order somehow, if you just check in the schema, what did we modify on the order? Did we add anything here? Just we added sales. I think only that. I'm wondering why it's not getting these previous. It's saying failed fetch orders, error Prisma this, and then like failed vendor. How? Let's see on the U here if he has anything to show us. error converting field vendor ID of expected non-nullable type string found incompatible value of null. Okay, so this is of some of the items that we have on the order items. This is coming from this where we have the vendor ID on the order items to be this and supposed to not to be nullable. Okay, so now what we can just like do is simply deleting all the orders. Okay, we can delete all the orders. And how are we going to do that? Let me try Prisma Studio, but I know it might not work. npx Prisma Studio, when you actually have issues compiling, it also always have issues. We might just have to go manually and delete this from Prisma from I'm not sure if this will actually accept to load, but we would actually delete them from here. If they refuse, we just go and delete from their side. At least it should load the order items. Let's see. You can see the same issue here. And we cannot just delete for the orders they bring them. What happens if we try to actually delete orders? I'm sure they might not accept. Yeah, so you cannot just delete because would violate the order to item. I knew that. You can just like delete that. You need to first go and work on this, and this one already has a problem. Okay, so how to temporarily solve that problem? Either we just first come here and we make it not required. Again, we have to push. Okay, how about going to MongoDB? Like, I spent a lot of time. I don't even remember the project. Like, if you're just working with Prisma, really you don't need to visit the project. Everything you do it from the studio, and you even forget that it has ever existed. To go and check the documents themselves this side. Okay, let me just go ahead and log in and take a look at that. Okay, so I'm just going to go to and you have to make sure we are on the right. I think it is this one. You have to make sure we are in the right project. Okay, so just go to the database. And let's go ahead and browse corrections. Okay, so we have a lot of corrections right now. The ones we want right now is this. Is this the order item? It has 8 documents. I don't know how you can actually get all of them at once. And these ones, they look like they have not even updated. I'm not seeing like this. Looks like this one is the old version. I don't think like refresh somewhere. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete all these documents. So delete. Go ahead and delete this one. We have 7. Let's just go ahead and delete all these ones. So we're on the last one. Okay, so we don't have any of them. Okay, and now if I just go back to the Prisma, I think now for the other items we should be having empty. I think it is back. It says no, there are no rows on this table. So if I just goes to order, actually not category, just if I go to the order, I should be able to delete all the orders. And this one of this missing the order ID, we should make sure in our we could just go to this component. If you check in the order summary, those instances whereby we don't have the user and this subtotal, I don't know if we should be adding this subtotal onto the orders. Why aren't the orders working? Make sure I have internet. I don't know how we can ensure that all the time the user is present here. Okay, maybe it is on this personal data that we are adding this user. I guess we are getting this user ID. So here in this, we must make sure that the only and only if the user ID is available. Okay. I can just maybe put this in an if statement, and we say if user ID. Okay, if user ID, at least we are very sure that we only do it if the user ID is present. Okay, so this, I'm not sure what is happening, but let me just reload. Okay, so for the orders are here. If you see order items, we shouldn't have any. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete all these 9 fields, all these orders, so that we have a fresh. So we don't have anything. So if I just go here, orders, I should have an empty array. What? Here orders are gone. Let's first see. Invalid. So okay, I think they are not there right now. I just want to, I'm wondering where these ones are coming from. Are they from the cache? Okay, you might just find they are coming from the cache. Okay, let's just like go ahead and try to create back here this scenario we have here. Just going to refresh one more time to make sure we are good. We have the logged in user. Let me just go ahead and proceed feed in the data. Now we just want to see this order here. Okay, so that we can remember this first name. Next, let's just feed in fake information, and of course just want to go F12 so that I can look at what is happening. Credit card, next, and now we have 2 items. Okay, we have 2 items, so that we look at also the sales. Let's create and we see what is going to happen. Order was created. This is really nice. And let's first see if it's going to route. Okay, so we are routing to order confirmation, and on this page we have some problem with undefined. Okay, at least that one the orders went through. I don't know why on this we are having, is it because we are failing to get the order items? Let's go to this page, order confirmation. Just go up to the front end, order confirmation, and we have this page. So what is happening on this page is that we actually get the params of the ID, and then we just go and get the orders by ID. Okay, so why isn't it getting the order by ID? Can we first get the orders? Okay, so this last order we just received, is it there? Yeah, so you can see it, actually the order items are there. They are here. Now can I just go duplicate this and try to get order by ID, because we have this order, I think is this same very one, 750, this one. let's try to see if we are fetching the data correctly for here. Okay, just like that. Okay, so is returning empty. Why? Let me just go to is fetching on orders, then ID. So let's just see orders ID, API orders ID, this one. What is happening here? So what is happening here? We are getting this, and we go to orders.find many. Let me first see, are we supposed to get, what are we getting here? We're supposed to find, I think, one single order, isn't it? Trying to fetch an order of a specific ID. That is by user ID or something. Let me just first see what we need on this. Here we just simply want to get, let me go back to this page. So on this page, what do we want specifically? On this page, what we want is actually to get an order. Then from the order, we get the order items. Okay, so now that means that here on this route, where is that route? Can you first close that? Just go to API route, orders, and this. So we just simply need note this. Guess really we just want to get order and find unique, and just get the order, and this is going to be find unique, where now we just want to get, actually here remember we are trying to get like the user, just say where ID is ID, just simply that, just where ID, just include the order items. That's the only thing we want, just like that only, and return order. So with this, I think this is going to work now. Fetch an order, just go now, refresh one more time. One more time. Okay, so we have it. Okay, we have it, and this side we should also be having it. Okay, good. So that is done. The only thing I'm just wondering though is one thing that we just need to do is testing the API sales. Okay, API sales, and let's see the moment of truth. API sales does not exist. What are you talking about? We created API. I thought you created API sales. What did we create? Did I create inside the orders? Wow. I have this inside the orders, guys. We're just going to drag this inside the API. Okay, so now we have API sales route. Okay, let's just go ahead and reload. Like supposed to actually have its own route. Okay, and we have two sales. Okay, yeah, actually I think it makes sense. The we have two products actually, so two products, and that just like to would be like two sales for each product. Yeah, I think what just like matters that you have a sale and then like of a product, and then you look at the quantity you have. Like this one, product quantity is 2, and then this one, product quantity is 1. So you look at the total price, and then you look at the product price times 2. I think that is fine. Okay, this is really fine. Now that means that we can just go ahead and go on the dashboard. We manipulate this the way we want. So if I just go to the dashboard, okay, and here could just even just go like to direct it to my orders. Okay, so just go to the dashboard and I just go to my orders. Okay, so right now we have this this order. So one thing we wanted just also to create was the invoice. For the order, I'm not sure, like really, like this is a full description of the order. The only thing here you just need is to view the invoice. Okay, is to view the invoice. Now the good thing right now is that on this we actually also have the quantities. Okay, we have the quantities plus what else? Yeah, we have the quantities, so we can even just tell the user the quantity they bought for each individual product. I don't know if I was to do that, where would I put that in this? Okay, let me just see, because this is the order detail. If I just looked at the order, at least we have the quantity. So if I just go to where do I need to go? I need to go inside. I need to go inside what? I need to go inside the components. Okay, so this one was under order. So we have order card, and inside the order card, let's see, inside the items, where we are mapping the items here. Okay, we are mapping the items, and if you look at this, we have the item, we have its name. Okay, we have this on flex, so the item image is in flex, and then these ones are having flex score. So where do we find the price? So in the price is where we have the title. And where was this one? Can I just first like put this one back? I just want to see where I can place the quantity of the product. Okay, so we have here golden. Can I put the quantity there? I feel like it is hanging. So what edit if we put something here, item price? If I put this p tag here, what happens? Since this is flex, let me see. Okay. It would automatically make the whole thing a mess. And how about putting it here? And before I put margin top, let me just like let me just see what is going to happen now. I just need somewhere to put the okay, that one was looking promising. I guess this is because of the somehow margin. Can I just like add this as flex item center? Let me see how that one becomes. Okay, so it changes the narrative. Okay, like it is nice, but why? Maybe just add justify between. Yeah, I think this is fine. So now finally I have it. So here I'm just going to put quantity. So simply put here item dot quantity. So item dot quantity. I don't know if it's just a quantity or QTY on these items. Now for this under the title, we don't need this. Let's see now. Okay, so now alloy 2 items and this. Okay, so now it makes sense. Okay, we have view product. We shall see that where we need this, we could add item slug if we wanted. On adding here, we could add an item slug where we are adding the title. We could capture the slug, and then like from the slug we could just like really put this going to this. I don't know, we could also add that. Then for the similar product is not really necessary. Okay, so this one I'm just going to remove this similar item. Okay, maybe we could just say like similar products. It's okay, like we say similar products. So just like try to link somewhere, but for this, let me just like maybe for now leave it. But I think we just need to add the slug. It will be very easy because we already know right now that if you want the products, if you go to the home page, it is very easy to get the product actually if you have it slug. Otherwise, we'll have to implement another route for the find product by ID. I'm not sure if we already have that. We have only one on the API for the product here. Oh, actually we have product by ID. Really? Then where are we getting the one for the route? If you go to the home page and you clicked on a product like this one, we are actually routing using the product slug. You can see products and then T3. Like what? Are we having this page connected? I don't think so. Oh, did I go to the like this is not connected. This page is not putting in the right details, is it? I think we haven't worked on the product detail. Let me just look at this. What? So this product is actually not just like implemented yet. Okay, so that would be really easy. So how about the product ID? So we can go to, let me first get any product ID here, and product ID like this one, Control C. So if I just say go API products stroke ID, do I have the details of this product? Okay, so this one is implemented. We can get the details of this product. Okay, so now we just need to actually have by slug. Let me just simply copy this. I'm not sure if how are we supposed to actually do that. Can we pass in two different params? Because this is by ID, then if I want to put two of them, how do I do that? Alternatively, we just like simply create another folder here, product, and like so inside these products, I may just have another folder here called product. Okay, then inside the product, I may just need to copy this whole folder, then paste it here in this. Okay, so have this route. Now this is not going to be this, it's going to be a slug. So just have this as a slug. Just to rename this, I need to be inside like to be slug like that. Okay, so product slug, and here is going to be slug, and then we just need to find a product unique where slug. Okay, and as simple as that, there is nothing else we need to change. It has to remain like this. Let's test it. So this one, you have to go products, product, then slug. So let me just get here a slug of like this product, which is actually just this. So we got products, we got product, then stock slug. Just like testing that API endpoint and see. Error. Kind server selection is not time, no variable set what. Is this a timeout problem maybe? Let's just like do one more time. There is no internet. Let me just first actually put back my internet. Just a second, guys. You have to keep on track of the internet all the time. So here I don't have internet, so I'm just getting these weird issues. I'm not sure why internet always goes off. Just disconnect. Okay, and then just go here and make another request this time. Okay, so we have it, and this is the thing here. We just need this API products, so we just need to copy this and simply go to the product detail page. How comes we don't have that? So on the front end we have products slug. Okay, page, I'm seeing we have here get data is a param slug, and we are getting categories. Just pass in this. Okay, just pass in that. So it's supposed to be products, then we pass in the slug here. So just convert this into template backticks. Remove this. So it is products, product, and here we just pass in the slug. Okay, dollar slug, just like this. So this one should go ahead and get the product. This one is going to get a product. Okay, so this one gets us the product, and we simply have the product image and all these details. So for instance, this one is going to be the product image, product, it's going to be product dot image URL. Okay, so we have all this entire object. Okay, and this one is going to be title. So just come here and you see product the title, and let's go here. Still we need the title here. Product, here is the title. Okay, then we have the description. Okay, so here we have this. And here is just going to be description. Okay, then we have the SKU. Okay, so we have the SKU here. Product did SKU. Stock keeping unit, and then like the stock. Do we have the stock here? As if we don't have the stock. Is it this on the quantity? I think it is the quantity of the. Let me just put this. I will just confirm product dot quantity. Okay, so we have the actual price and this other price. So this one is the sale price. Product dot sale price. Okay, and then there is product price. Which one is okay? So there's the one, this is the buying price. Okay, I'm not sure how to manipulate that. but I think the sale price supposed to be lower than the product price, so that we look at the discount. I don't know which one is supposed to be the actual price, because in our calculation we have used the sale price. So this one, the product price, is the actual price you are selling, and this is the discounted price. Okay. So here I'm just going to say product product price. Okay, so the saving, we shall just calculate this. Okay. Okay. We have also add to cart functionalities on these pages, but I think that is like afterwards. I might just handle that, but at least we have then delivery options and others. Those ones we're just going to handle them. For now, I'm just like putting that to make sure at least we have some information. Okay, and then like we have similar products, and then we need to get this category where we're passing category dot products. Okay. For the similar, we have to get the category ID and then also fetch that. Okay. So if we wanted the category, I feel like we could just like, we shall get the ID from here, then we shall fetch by ID. I'm not sure if that one is there, but we can first go back to this. Okay, so zinc is being fetched, the stock is here, and yeah, as is so far we have the actual data. Okay, let me just go and check for any other product. So for this case here, we need just to we shall just like have to fetch I think send the slug for this, or since we have the title, we could generate the slug. Yeah, I think we could generate the slug from the title, since I think we have the generate slug function. Do we have that generate slug function? Where is the lib folder? We have the generate slug function here, and this is the one we are using to, so we could just come here and we come to this detailed page of order card, and since we have this product somewhere here after this map, because it is only where we can access the item, and I could just say const slug is equal to generate slug, and then I have to pass in item dot title, just like this, and then would be having the slug. Then on the view product, so where we have here the view product, first of all, let's make this one a link. Okay, let's first make it a link since it is within. So we just come here and generate this link. We're just going to create it. Okay, it's supposed to use the slug, but how? So I'm just going to go to this, just click on any of these items. Okay, just click on any of those items. I'm just going to go to the detailed page, which is this one. So just simply copy this, just simply paste it here. So you need to go to products and then slug. Okay, dollar slug, as simple as that. Okay, so that's great. And the title, we could just put the title here, dollar item dot title. Okay, and that's it for the similar product. That is another thing, but for now we can just like do that, and I think we could just like link to this div. Okay, we could link to this div for the similar products. We shall see that. But at least right now, if I go back here and you view this one, you said we have now, we can go to that. Yep, so you can see here, new product update twice. Everything is here. That's nice. We can actually go to this product now. Okay, that was really nice working on that. Okay, now what we would work on is the invoice. Okay, when someone clicks on invoice, it has to go and create I don't know, generating the invoice. Just going to simply create in this order. Okay, we just have to create a specific ID for this order. So it has to be, for instance, something like, let me duplicate. So you have to have, for instance, orders, because this for each order, remember these ones, there will be many orders. So if we are going to have orders, and then we shall have order ID, okay, let's see, XX, and then invoice, something like this, so that it is just like for a specific order, then the invoice. Okay, we shall just create that component, and maybe we should work that on the next video. Okay, I feel like we already have a lot of things we have done in this video. We could just only connect to this component. Let's just create that component only, and we just know we are done. So I'm just going to go to dashboard orders. So we'll just go like to dashboard. Okay, orders. So dashboard and like orders. Now I'm just going to create a new folder, and this one's going to be for the ID, order ID, and then inside that we're just going to actually have a new folder called invoice, and it is in that invoice that actually we have the page. I have like the page.jsx. I'm just going to say RFC Okay, and then this one just going to say invoice here. Okay, just like that, invoice here. We can just go and link this in this order card. First of all, make this one a link. This is for the similar page, I guess. I just want to go for this invoice, view invoice. Where is it? View invoice. Where can I find it? I think it is on top. Let me see. View order, view invoice. This one's supposed to be a link. Okay, it's supposed to be a link, and this one just turn it into href, and other things will remain the same. So this href, we suggest send it to something like orders. Okay, of course it has to be dashboard orders, dashboard. Just this link, the way it is here. Or is it the one we're testing on? Okay, just going to be like dashboard dashboard orders, and then now we have the unique ID. Stroke here, you're just going to have like 1 2 3, so this is the ID, and then after that we have the invoice. Okay, we have the invoice. Let me just confirm one more time. Invoice. So if you just click on now view, we'll just like update, like refresh. You can just go ahead and refresh this. Let me refresh. Okay, it has refreshed. So now if I click on this, let's see. Okay, so you can see it is on the orders, this here. Okay, so invoice here, so the invoice is going to be located at that point. So what you're just going to do in the next video, you're just going to design the invoice, and the invoice is here. You can just be designing it. Let me just leave the link here so that you can have a look at the invoice. Okay, you can have a look at the invoice here. You can just come and have a look at the invoice so that you'll be designing it. So I'm just going also to design it. I might design it off the screen so that we don't waste more time on it. It is not really that hard. Just go ahead and start working on it. I'll come and walk you through how I designed it, and then we can use it. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this episode. I'm just going to see you in the next one.